A traveling cat merchant approaches the group of adventurers in a clearing and offers them his wares. Among his wares is a cherry tomato, but it is an unusual golden tomato, that is, it slightly increases the rate of mana recovery, but at the same time it burns as much as 10 grams of fat. When the girls learn this, they become very interested in this miracle vegetable, and when they learn about the price, they scare the poor cat with their obsession. When asked where he gets these magical vegetables, the cat says it's a secret, but we are allowed to see the secret. In some secret cave, this secret guy and his secret worker animals grow vegetables. The businessman cat comes back and brings a whole bag of gold coins, which makes the boy very happy. His name is Park Se-jae, and he has been in this tower for 15 days, working for the good of the people. And these faithful animals help him with his work and keep him from going crazy. But before continuing, a little background. 10 years ago, 99-story black towers began to appear around the world. And then anime cosplayers began to come out of them. They were called the Awakened Ones. They could enter the towers at any time, unlike other people who could not get there. Ordinary mortals needed a special ticket, which could only be obtained in the towers, so the Awakened Ones immediately realized the new theme and started selling tickets for 200 million. Park Se-jae is also saving up for a ticket. He wants to get there with all his heart and soul. A dark hole appears behind him, and he falls into it. His joy ends when he looks around and sees nothing. He has only his backpack and a bag of vegetables. He plants them in the hope that they will grow and prevent him from turning into a mummy. 2 days later, the onions he planted became trees. He wanted to taste them and regretted his decision. Then he is met by a white rabbit who eats his onions, which have grown again. The rabbits are hard workers and are ready to work for his delicious onion. They work hard for 25 hours a day while he sits on a rock peeling his onions. This couple is just made for farming. The male rabbit has a watering can with an unlimited amount of water, and the female rabbit has an apron with an immense pocket. Upon learning that they can stay, the rabbit quickly builds a house for the family so that the boy does not spy on them, making new workers for him. Before nightfall, the woman takes her rabbit and drags him to their love nest. Then they use the bottle to make fire and made torches to light up the whole cave, and the fish from the lake liked the firefly very much and flew to the ground and paid for it. After a while, the couple had their first babies. They were yellow for white rabbits, but there was no one else in the cave except the boy and the man rabbit. From the earliest days of his life, Pak taught them to work in the garden to make it clear to the poor rabbits what their future would be. During one of the blue moons, a little red bear decided to visit the cave. However, we are not shown what happened to Puck after Misha came to say hello to the boy. We are transported to the morning where the man rabbit wakes up the farmer with a delicious slap on the cheek. While he is recovering from his experience, the rabbits are making a fire and preparing breakfast. A tomato is grown in the garden, and it is blue because it is charged with the energy of the blue moon. As soon as he plucked the fruit, a message appeared that the tower manager found out about it, and it turns out that Park got here illegally, so the manager is angry about it. He intends to correct this misunderstanding. However, the guy skillfully appeals to the fact that 1 second he is praised for his achievement, and the next he is about to be destroyed as a mistake. So the manager grants Puck the status of awakened and puts the class of farmer of the first rank. The company is happy that they managed to harvest their first tomato crop, which makes the dragon manager angry and sends Puck a quest for a fruit charged with the energy of the blue moon, and if he refuses the quest, Puck will face a bad end. The boy has nothing to do, so he presents the tomato and the manager takes it away, and the quest is completed. A few days later, ordinary tomatoes have also grown, and it's time to pick them. These are the same magical cherry tomatoes that were at the beginning. They taste them together. They remind Puck of life in the city. He's already made a bed with a blanket and pillow, and everything is made of onions, lol. He's about to go to sleep when a new quest appears to deliver 100 tomatoes to the tower manager. For this quest, he was given a skill that allows him to turn an unripe tomato into a ripe one. After that, the manager started sending quests every day, increasing the number of tomatoes and giving nothing as a reward. The guy got tired of this and decided to refuse the manager, even though the punishment for non-compliance was the player's annihilation. The dragon says that he is not interested in the fact that the farmers will have nothing to eat and that they have spent a lot of time tending to the vegetables, which makes Puck furious. He sends the system far away from the ship. The manager is shocked by the boy and starts spamming him with messages, but Puck ignores them all. He provocatively eats tomatoes in front of the manager's screen, and Puck is willing to give him only 5 tomatoes instead of 500, and the manager agrees. During the new blue moon, a new blue tomato sprouted, as well as 1 blue potato. Immediately, the manager sent quests for the transfer of blue vegetables. There is no reward. The punishment is annihilation. Puck decided to cheat and postponed the quests, which made the manager angry, but agreed to a compromise. Without thinking twice, he eats a blue tomato and wants to fry the potatoes when rabbits come out and he wants to share them with them. But the male rabbit insists that Park eat the blue potato himself. Out of greed, he eats it and burns his tongue, causing the potato to fall to the ground and be picked up by the little rabbits and burned as well. The rabbits grow even bigger, and Puck decides that they are ready to work for the good of the people. Day and night, the poor rabbits work tirelessly, and all for the sake of a tasty potato horror. Here we are shown a dragon stalking the boy and repeating everything after him. He finds out that they are enjoying the potatoes and is angry that they didn't think to share them with him. He sends a quest to urgently send the fries. The guy again wants to postpone it, but the manager assures him that this time there will be no peaceful solution. He is so eager to try the potatoes that he gives a new skill as a reward. Once every 30 days, the hero can buy seeds from the seed store. Because of the rabbits' cute faces, Pak decides to buy some carrot seeds. While they are excited about the purchase, a local bee follows them and flies up to the farmer and wants to make contact with him. It turns out to be poisonous, which causes the rabbits to eject at the speed of light without warning the boy of the danger. Puck manages to fend off the bee with a sprig of tomatoes with flowers. The bee likes it and flies off to eat nectar on other tomato bushes, and then sits on the boy's stomach and falls asleep. Some time passes, their garden expands significantly, and they all work hard for the good of the people. The time of the new blue moon approaches. The rabbits leave their children and rush to hide in the hut. As soon as the blue moon comes, the little hard-working rabbits turn into huge bloodthirsty monsters. However, there is no need to be afraid. This is their maturation ritual. Now they are all adults. One is even black. Their mother is definitely hiding something from them. Now they do even more work in the garden, while he sits around cleaning, and all for the good of the people. Members of the Secret Service. They want to catch some fish, and he shows them what he can do, but he overdoes it a bit, which makes their dinner not very happy. Next time, the prices at the seed store went up, and he could only buy corn seeds. This time, a cat comes across them and is interested in their fried fish. This is the traveling salesman from the beginning. His name is Theo. A seed store leaks information about Puck to a cat, and the cat decides to lure the customer to his place. However, Theo is hungry, so he feeds the cat and then tries to take money from the poor and defenseless cat. Somehow, the cat is a businessman. He came to make money but gave away his own. Now Theo will sell vegetables grown by farmers and get a fish for it, and all for the good of the people. When did they manage to turn from farmers into hotel servants for Mr. Park? Is this all for the good of the people? They sign a cooperation agreement, and Pak gives Theo the first batch of tomatoes. The cat quickly finds his first customers, but they are not very interested in tomatoes. They expected bread or meat, or at least useful items, as one girl sees that a tomato burns 10 grams of fat. While the girls are fighting with each other over the tomatoes, the boys don't understand. So he sold the whole 1,000 tomatoes at once. Some more time passes, and the warrior rabbit is already skillfully putting 5 fish on his shoulder blades at a time, for which he received a new level. The bee has finally moved to a cave, so that she doesn't have to fly to the forest every day and can work more for the good of the people. A new task has been received from the manager. This time he wants 10 tomatoes. There is no reward, but the punishment for refusal has changed. Instead of an adulation, refusal will simply upset the dragon. And while completing the quest, he began to thank you for the vegetables. Theo returns with good news. He earned as much as 50 coins for the tomatoes. He gives them to Puck, who gives the cat his share 2 coins because he spent 4 days walking with girls instead of coming to them. The cat doesn't need to explain anything else. He picks tomatoes and goes to sell them. However, he doesn't know who he can sell so many tomatoes to, but then he is met by the same adventurers who are ready to buy all the vegetables he has. The cat raised the price, but it didn't deter the girls who are ready to do anything to lose weight. They agreed to meet in 10 days and buy the super tomatoes again. He seems to have found a gold mine. At the same time, Puck teaches the black man to swim so that he can catch even more fish for the good of the people. While they were working, the bee was not sitting still and brought her children, who are now also working. Puck wants to congratulate the bee on this holiday, so he tears some tomato branches with flowers and approaches the hive. But the kids think he wants to harm them and are going to attack him. At the last moment, the mother bee comes out and calls her children away. She has grown up well and is now classified as a queen. The farmer gives her flowers and she hugs him in gratitude. Realizing that there is no danger, the little bees begin to get acquainted with rabbits. After the blue moon, one of the carrots turned blue, and it was so big. He gives it to the rabbits, and they deftly share the delicacy. Theo comes in and brings 75 coins plus a bag of coins from the price increase. Puck notices that Theo is eating cat sticks, given by one of the awakened people for the photo with the cat. And an idea is born in the farmer's head. He takes all the goodies away from the poor and defenseless cat and asks him about the vendor's trade. It turns out that they are on the 99th floor of the tower. The boy has a new idea. He wants to become a trader and earn 1,000,000 billion coins, but only the tower's native inhabitants can become traders. This makes the farmer feel a little burned out, and all his ideas are doomed to failure. However, he has a new idea again. Theo arrives at the place where he has agreed to meet the adventurers, where they have already set up camp. The cat comes down to them, and they are ready to fight for his tomatoes when he informs them of a new method of trade. He will sell 500 tomatoes to the highest bidder, just like at an auction. They start bidding for these super tomatoes. Then, an important uncle comes along and buys the tomatoes for 100 coins. Luckily, the cat will have 2 more rounds of the auction, so everyone has a chance to get some magic tomatoes. A loving father wants to buy some for his daughter, but the important uncle again gives 100 coins, and he doesn't have that much. The businessman takes all 3 baskets of tomatoes and leaves. It's a break for lunch again at the farm. It's very hard to watch them eat. You have to eat yourself. Everything is for you. After lunch, they harvested the crops and took them to the storage. Puck was on the 10th level, and he received a special quest, which they all successfully completed together. The rabbits are about to go to bed when their parents stop them from going in and close the door right in front of their noses. They have already become old enough to live independently, but the farmer offers them to sleep together, and tomorrow they will make their own huts. Meanwhile, Theo approaches the head of the group of adventurers and wants to make a deal with him. Puck wants the man to send money to the boy's family and tell them that he is fine, and in return, he will receive 200 tomatoes. It's hard to refuse such an offer, especially if your daughter will call you daddy for the tomatoes, so the man agrees. And back to the farm, the rabbits have already completed the construction of their own huts. They threw a party to celebrate. The seed store was open again, so Puck bought some potato seeds. Well, as seeds go, a bag of potatoes almost fell on Puck's head. Then he taught the rabbit with the sickle how to cut the potatoes properly to increase the number of bushes by 4 times. Then they decided to plant a sweet potato, and during this activity the farmer managed to invent a new variety of sweet potato from a cross between a sweet potato and a pumpkin. This new vegetable burns as much as 100 grams of fat at a time. It smells like a new business for Theo. At the same time, the male head of the guild arrives at Farmer Park's house. This is the end of the first 20 chapters of the manhwa, Farming in the Tower Alone. If you liked my short story, please like and subscribe to my channel.